Hey guys, and welcome to
Wrestling Daze.
So WrestleMania weekend is over, and I wanted to use this video to have a look at the 5 things that I'm taking away from everything that we've seen over, WrestleMania and NXT Takeover and Monday Night Raw. These are the 5 things that have really stuck out to me the most. Number 1, women's wrestling is back. This is brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I'm so pleased that WWE have gone in this direction. They kind of misfired with the Divas Revolution because they got a load of talented girls, they put them into teams, there wasn't really much in the way of storylines, and it was very plodding. It didn't seem to be going anywhere. Well, now everything has changed because there's a new women's championship. It's no longer referred to as the Divas division, it's the women's division. There's, credible challengers for the title. I think Charlotte's doing a fantastic job as a champion. I know a lot of people don't like her because Ric Flair gets involved, but that's her role. She's a heel, and even if her dad's going to help her out, it doesn't matter. It's only going to make it sweeter when someone does get that title from her. So, which will happen, of course it will, but who's it going to be? There's so much competition in that division, and I think it's brilliant that they're giving Natalya an opportunity. Seems as though that's the feud coming out of all of this that we're going to have next. But there's going to be, other stories within that women's division. I'd like it to not just focus on who's got the belt. I'd like to see them exploring secondary storylines like what it kind of felt like we were having with Lana and Brie. The word is that Brie's finished now though, so we'll have to see what comes of all of that. But the fact that Monday Night Raw, one of the final things we saw was the crowd chanting women's wrestling. It was a brilliant moment. It really hit home. For me, 2 of the best matches we saw this weekend were Asuka against Bayley from NXT TakeOver, which I can't wait to revisit, and the women's triple threat from WrestleMania, again with Charlotte, Sasha and Becky. Becky sporting quite a nasty bruise as well on her face from that. But look, women's wrestling in WWE really has never been stronger than this, and I can't wait to see where we go from here. Next, I'm taking away the fact that NXT is not the future, it is the now. Of the 3 shows that WWE put on, NXT TakeOver was far and away the best show. Out of every match that we saw this weekend, the best match was Sami Zayn against Shinsuke Nakamura. Again, far and away, not even close. And then on top of that, look at Monday Night Raw. You've got Apollo Crews, you've got Baron Corbin, you've got obviously Tyler Breeze, who's not been up for that long. You've got the debuts of Enzo and Big Cass. Also, it was announced on SmackDown you're going to have Vaudevillains. The crowd were chanting and really foaming at the mouth for Bayley to get a call up. I saw rumours, and they were strong rumours. I really thought that Samoa Joe was going to be there. I was seeing pictures of Finn Balor at the airport. It's just like... It is absolutely the now. And we've not even spoken about the fact that one of the main matches at WrestleMania, the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, was won by Baron Corbin. If you think that NXT is just a developmental system, absolutely think again. They dominated this weekend. And not just NXT TakeOver, WrestleMania and Raw. Third thing that I'm taking away is the fact that the secondary titles mean absolutely nothing anymore. Absolutely nothing. If you go back to WrestleMania 31, coming out of that, you had a US champion that was John Cena. You had an Intercontinental champion that was Daniel Bryan. And the goal was to really put those titles front and centre and give them prestige again. And they were going to do that by having Cena and Bryan. Well, fast forward a year, and we've got the US title being defended on the pre-show by Kalisto against Ryback. Intercontinental title being won by Zack Ryder. who, keep saying this, I don't hate Zack Ryder, but he's come out of nowhere and he's been around a while, but I've not seen anything from him that says to me that he warranted winning that ladder match. I would much rather that they'd kept it on Kevin Owens, or they'd give Sami Zayn a shot, or anything. But they gave it to Zack Ryder. Fast forward 24 hours, the guy loses it. He loses it to The Miz. Now, I know that this is potentially building a feud, because they're going to go at it again. The rematch clause has been invoked, and they'll go at it again on SmackDown, which at the time of recording this, I think is actually being filmed as I speak. So I don't know what comes out of that. I don't know if that title will get passed back again, or what will happen. But yeah, you know, the fact that that has been passed around as much as what it has, and also the fact that on Monday the US champion Kalisto didn't even feature. I hear that he was on like Main Event or Superstars, whatever was recorded before Raw. It just shows how far these titles have fallen. It's worth mentioning about that Zack Ryder run as well, that Bam Bam Bigelow, Junkyard Dog, Dusty Rhodes, Jake the Snake Roberts, Vader, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Harley Race, none of those guys have had any kind of title run, and I can't sit back and watch someone have a 24-hour title run. It winds me up. It really winds me up. And I knew that someone like Zack Ryder was not going to get 100 days. And even if he did, he wouldn't get the TV time. They're not invested in him. It just leaves me frustrated. It really does. Those titles just deserve so much more respect. Number 4 on my list, the Legends. They are, what I'm taking away from this is the fact that they are a very, very important group, but a group that WWE just don't have a clue what to do with. I mean, look, they got it right sometimes. Who was the person that announced the new title, Women's Championship? Lita. Absolutely brilliant. Bang on. I also thought that what they'd done with Dean Ambrose in the build to WrestleMania, where, you know, Mick Foley gifts him the baseball bat with barbed wire, Terry Funk, absolutely brilliant, gave him the chainsaw. Perfect, absolutely brilliant. And I think how they're using Ric Flair as well is perfect. You know, he's there to support Charlotte, but he does the odd thing to get involved and you know, push things in her favour. She's a heel. That's exactly how it should be done, right? Where they got it wrong was the New Day lost a match to League of Nations. For what I can see as just so Shawn Michaels, Mick Foley, Steve Austin could come down and have a brawl with them, basically. The way that Michaels came out looked like, you know, he's got his ring attire on. Looks like there's going to be a match, an impromptu match. And, you know, I was really excited when I saw this, because it's like, I can't believe it. We're going to get Shawn Michaels, Mick Foley, Steve Austin in a tag match against League of Nations. It didn't go down that way, did it? You know, they were all just in the ring. There was a bit of a brawl. 5 seconds, it was done. And then you go back to the celebrating, and it was just one of those moments. But I actually thought this was a poor moment. The moment, I suppose, is Shawn's music hitting, and Foley coming out, and then Steve coming out, and then being on the ramp. The in-ring work was awful. And, you know, WWE didn't really learn from that. Later on in the night, we get another match. Rock, you know, takes off his trousers. He's got his wrestling gear on. He'll have a match with someone from the Wyatt family. Personally, I'm thinking, amazing, brilliant. Rock against Braun Strowman, you know, Rock against Bray Wyatt. Really didn't want the Rock against Eric Rowan, and what do you get? The Rock against Eric Rowan. As soon as I saw that, I thought, well, this isn't going to last long. One rock bottom, 6 seconds, and we're done. Again, left me frustrated. It's just, what's the point? You're just killing Eric Rowan. What's the point? And then as well as that, you've got the likes of Tatanka, who even the commentators didn't realise until 5 minutes into the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal was actually in the ring. I remember I saw him on my screen, and I tweeted like, "Is that Tatanka?" I couldn't believe it. The guy came out of nowhere. You know, this is a legend. He is on a Legends contract. He is someone that I used to watch when I was a kid. I was never a massive fan, but it's Tatanka. It didn't even get announced. Didn't get in any kind of entrance music. He was just in the ring, and then he got eliminated. I thought that was awful. I think that's one of the worst things they did all weekend, was the mismanagement of someone like Tatanka. There's so many legends that they could use that you just don't see. I mean, all of this activity around the Intercontinental title, why have they not got hold of Honky Tonk Man? I mean, Mattel have just knocked out a Honky Tonk Man basic figure not that long ago, a couple of months ago. He's around, he's doing the conventions. Why don't they do a spot with him? Smash from Demolition, Animal from Legion of Doom. I'm sure these guys are still around. Why don't they come and talk about, you know, tag team work? But you never even see those guys. It's always the same legends. It's always Shawn Michaels, Mick Foley, Stone Cold Steve Austin. That's why I was so excited to see Tatanka, because don't normally see Tatanka. I was really excited to see Terry Funk, because rarely do you see Terry Funk. But there are more legends that they could get a hold of. You know, we've not seen Jake the Snake for quite a while. Greg the Hammer Valentine, he's still knocking around. How about Bruno Sammartino appearing on Raw? All of this can help promote the network, but they're not utilising them properly. They seem to be using the same pool of legends. Now, I don't know if that has something to do with only using those legends that have got legend contracts. The word to sum all this up for me, frustrating. Next thing I'm taking away is that WWE just don't know what the fans want. They really don't know. I think they sit around and I think they look at numbers. I think that they do see a lot of what's said on social media and on the internet, but I think there's a lot that gets said. There was actually a poll that I saw on Twitter that had over, I think it was like 1,500 votes. And the question was simply, which show did you enjoy the most? Was it NXT TakeOver? Was it Hall of Fame? Was it WrestleMania? Or was it Monday Night Raw? Without a shadow of a doubt, I would have said, well, everyone's going to say NXT TakeOver. Maybe they might have enjoyed Monday Night Raw. But the runaway winner was WrestleMania. Now, that might largely be because it was the most watched of all of those. But then that's the result that comes through. That's the black and white. You know, over 1,500 people voted, and the result came back that WrestleMania was the best show. They have to sit there and go through all this kind of data, and as a result of that, I just don't think they know what the right way forward is. You know, that kind of showed in a lot of the results from WrestleMania. You know, why is Brock Lesnar beating Dean Ambrose? We've obviously already spoken about the IC title. Why did League of Nations beat New Day? I know that the next night on Raw, League of Nations had a rematch and then they lost. Maybe it was to set that up, but are we really using WrestleMania now to set up matches on Raw? It doesn't make any sense. Why did Shane not win? You know, he came out and spoke about the fact that he wanted change and things weren't working, and he wanted to run Monday Night Raw and the crowd wanted it, and then he loses. Triple H against Roman Reigns, no attempt to, you know, do anything other than turn the microphones down. They got a few things right. AJ Styles being the #1 contender, really the final image, if you will, of WrestleMania weekend. There was, after everything I've moaned about and everything that I've said, there was still a lot to love, and they still got enough right for me to be leaving this weekend very, very happy, very satisfied. Cool, you can follow me on Twitter at WrestlingDazeUK. If you haven't subscribed, it'd be brilliant if you did. I really would appreciate it, so that I know that you're not going to miss out on any future videos. And yeah, thanks for watching. Just thank you. Hopefully I'll see you again next time. Bye for now.